This is the first time that the U.S. government is targeting foreign judges and prosecutors, personnel of one of the most respected international judicial bodies in the world, with the travel ban. As far as we look back, there hasn't been any kind of precedent for such a thing. They're not only doing that, they're also saying anyone who assisted the ICC, worked or will work to push for accountability for investigation before the ICC with regard to the situation in Afghanistan, particularly looking at U.S. involvement in war crimes, will be subject to the same visa restrictions. So this is an act of a country that similar to authoritarian regime. When you're crushing dissent, when you're going after those who are disagreeing with you, when you are trying to punish and retaliate and intimidate those who are trying to hold you accountable, you use their powers in order to limit the way that they can do that, and that's really very outrageous and very concerning to us that this is reaching to this level. But it also speaks to what this administration has been doing. I mean, this administration threatened with prosecuting judges and the prosecutors of the ICC for doing their job, and for doing the job that the United States should have done, that is to investigate credibly and thoroughly war crimes and crimes against humanity that were committed in the course of the war in Afghanistan, including the use of black sites, not only in Afghanistan. This is another important aspect of this investigation, or impending investigation, because it hasn't been really fully authorized by the pretrial chamber, is that it would cover not just what happened in Afghanistan, but it will cover in 3 countries that are linked to the conflict in Afghanistan. That is Poland, Romania, and Lithuania, because they are state parties. They joined the ICC since 2002, when the court was started to function. So we will see how this will play out. We're very happy that the responses so far in just the last few days from members of the court, particularly European countries, have been very strong in condemning the Trump administration and upholding the independence and legitimacy of the court, and that any actions to deter prosecutors and the judges that would be not acceptable and will be rejected by U.S. allies, particularly in Europe.
Well, let me ask you, this is reflective of an overall tendency in the Trump administration. Last year, the U.S. withdrew from the United Nations Human Rights Council as well, and it's resisted over 20 requests by special rapporteurs of the United Nations looking into particular issues of human rights violations here. But this is a step further. This is not just refusing to cooperate. This is actually punishing people who are trying to get to the facts of what's happened. In terms of what can be done in response by the international community to what, in essence, is the United States saying no one has a right to judge what we do abroad?
Well, first of all, let's start with what the Secretary Pompeo said. They said it's an attack on our sovereignty. I don't think that anyone attacked U.S. sovereignty. It was this Afghanistan sovereignty that has been subject to the jurisdiction, because Afghanistan joined the ICC in May of 2003 and agreed that if there will be war crimes, crimes against humanity, or genocide, these are the worst crimes that are defined under the ICC statute or their treaty, that there would be jurisdiction for the court. So it's not an issue of U.S. sovereignty. It's not also an issue of protecting the constitutional right of American citizens who could be tried abroad. That's not something that we see again and again. If you committed a crime abroad, you could be committing it anywhere in the world. You could be held accountable by those countries where you violated their criminal laws. And therefore, there is no such a thing of attacking or undermining American sovereignty. The second thing is that Secretary Pompeo is saying there is no consent of the governments their nationals being prosecuted or investigated by the ICC in the future. Since when war criminals have to give their consent to a criminal investigation. That's unheard of. The nature of the attacks, as you said, they are punitive, they're retaliatory, they are trying to go and to send a message, not just to the ICC personnel in this particular. This actually has consequences beyond the United States situation of U.S. Government officials who commissioned, ordered, or implemented acts of torture in Afghanistan and elsewhere. So it is really a serious threat to the system that we created. The United States was responsible for creating systems after World War II, after the horror of the Holocaust, that would fight impunity, that would combat the worst crimes. And now the U.S. is leading the charge in attacking the judges and being cheered by what countries? Cheered by Sudan, Burundi, the Philippines.